One of TV's most famous primetime big money game shows was 21. Premiering in 1956, the show was hosted by Jack Barry, who also helped to create it. Each week, two contestants competed against each other to reach 21 points first by answering questions worth between 1 and 11 points. Sweating it out in isolation booths, the players struggled to answer the questions. Neither contestant knew the other's score. The show was suspenseful, the questions challenging, and the prizes won kept getting bigger. Unfortunately, after the first show, it was also rigged. Producers didn't want to gamble their ratings on smart but boring contestants, so those with more popularity potential were given the answers ahead of time. In 1958, disgruntled contestant Herb Stempel blew the whistle, and 21 went off the air soon after, along with several other of the big money shows. 21 is more than a quiz show. It's a piece of television history. The scandal caused by game show rigging launched a congressional investigation that eventually led to legislation that made it illegal. The drama was immortalized in the movie Quiz Show. See what all the fuss was about in this classic example of television's most notorious game show, 21.
Good evening. I'm Jack Barry. In a moment, Hank Bloomgarten and Jim Snodgrass will resume their match. To date, they have tied 6 times. Tonight, they'll be playing at $3,500 a point. Let's meet them as Geritol, the high-potency tonic that helps you feel stronger fast, presents 21.
Back for the 5th week, Mr. James Snodgrass. And returning with $52,500, Mr. Hank Bloomgarten.
Well, gentlemen, here we are again. You both know what happened. It's no mystery to you, and you know all exactly what's going to happen here in just a few moments. But before we explain to our home and studio audience exactly the results of the mix-up that occurred 2 weeks ago, Hank, how are you tonight?
I'm fine, thank you, Jack.
You've had a hectic week, I know.
Yes.
2 weeks.
It's over now.
Yes, it is. Or virtually over. Now it starts in all again.
Right.
And, Jim, I know you've been very busy with your art exhibit down in Greenwich Village. How's it coming along?
Oh, we're doing great guns down there.
Is that right?
Yes.
I know you're successful because from all indications you are really one of our fine young artists and are going to have a great career. Well, gentlemen, let's review what happened 2 weeks ago. As you may recall, you each chose an 11-point question which asked for the 5 groups of bones in our spine. Now, Jim, your first answer was sacrum. Now, all I have here in front of me are these question cards, and there are answers on there which are approved in advance of the program. Well, sacrum was not on the answer card, so I had to rule you wrong. Then, Hank, you proceeded to name the 5 groups, and you named as one of them coccyx. Well, my answer card did call for coccyx or coccygeal, so I had to rule you right, and you won an awful lot of money. Well, immediately after the program, there were thousands of phone calls, hundreds from doctors, and we found out that there was an inconsistency in the answers. Well, the Encyclopedia Britannica checked with Dr. Fishbein, who has for 25 years been the editor of the Journal of the American Medical Association, and he gave us his opinion, and we took it as a final and official ruling. He said to us that if I called you wrong with sacrum, Jim, then I automatically had to call you wrong with coccyx, Hank, and that's the way it worked out. Well, we went through a great deal trying to find out how we should square this out with both of you in an effort to be fair in our decision, and here's what we decided to do. We decided that you're both going to play the game over again at $3,500 a point, right back where we were. But Hank, NBC and our sponsor Geritol are going to guarantee the $52,500 that you had in the event that you should lose to Jim Snodgrass. That's going to be yours regardless of what happens. Now, do you consider this fair enough, Hank?
Yes, I certainly do. I think it's very fair and equitable.
And Jim, how about you?
Yes, I think it's very fair.
Good enough. Well, gentlemen, you're both good sports about it. We're sorry to cause you this inconvenience. A lot of money is at stake, a great deal of tension. And one more thing, Hank, just for the record, what is your exact work?
I do public relations work in an educational sense for some medical research organizations.
You yourself are a medical researcher, or are you not?
No, I'm not a medical researcher. I've never studied medicine, nor do I have a degree in science. I don't do any medical research at all.
Good. That should answer the question that's been in the minds of thousands of people around the country. Gentlemen, here we go. $3,500 a point once again. We're back at $52,500. Take your place in the studios. Put on your earphones. Sincerely, good luck to both of you. Neither player inside can hear anything until I turn their studios on. They can't see anybody in the studio audience, nor can they hear the applause. I'm going to turn both studios on right now. Can you hear me all right, Jim?
Very well, thank you.
And Hank?
Fine, thanks.
All right, gentlemen, this is going to be the game of all games, so I'll give you a second to get relaxed in there, all right? And then we'll get right on with it. Now, while our players are settling down for the big game, I'd like to step away from this set for just a moment to show you something. And here it is. A display of Geritol that you're likely to see in most any drugstore. Now, you've heard me tell you about Geritol time and time again, but you'll never know what Geritol can do for you until you try it.
Well, pardon the interruption, Jack, but may I add something to that?
You certainly may, Bob. Shoot.
Well, thank you very much. You know, friends, millions of people have tried Geritol, and they have discovered that this high-potency tonic is everything that Jack says it is.
Thank you, Bob. So, friends, remember, if you feel tired and run down, the trouble may be due to iron deficiency anemia, or as we call it, tired blood. Check with your doctor. And if tired blood is your problem, you take Geritol. Take it in either the liquid or in the tablet form, and take it every day. You'll feel stronger and fast, too, within 7 days, or you get your money back.
Mothers, after sickness, help your child gain strength fast. Give him Geritol Jr., the ideal tonic for growing children.
Now, on we go with our game. Hank, remember, $3,500 a point. I'll get back to you in just a moment.
Right.
All right, Jim, you know how the game works. Try to get to 21 as fast as you can. $3,500 a point. The first category is Shakespeare. How many points do you want to try for from 1 to 11?
I'll take 11, please.
11 points, the most difficult question we have on Shakespeare. The following are 5 kings whom we meet in Shakespeare's plays. First, Claudius. Second, Duncan. Third, Oberon, O-B-E-R-O-N. Fourth, Alonzo. Tell us, first, the names of the plays in which each appears. I'm sorry, there are 4 kings here, if I'm not mistaken, rather than 5. 4. Tell us first the names of the plays in which each appear, and second, the names of the countries or the peoples over which each rules. Shall we go back and take them one at a time?
Yes, please.
All right. First on my list is Claudius. The name of the play.
Claudius is Hamlet's uncle in Hamlet.
Hamlet was all that was required. That is right. The name of the country or people over which he ruled.
That would be Denmark.
That is correct. Second, Duncan.
Duncan is murdered by Macbeth, by Macbeth and Mrs. Macbeth.
Macbeth is my answer. I will accept
Yes,
that.
Macbeth is the play.
And the country ruled over?
Scotland.
Correct. Third, Oberon.
That is the Midsummer Night's Dream.
Correct. And the country or groups of people over which he ruled?
He's the king of the fairies.
That is correct. Fourth and finally, for a full 11 points, Alonso.
That's the Tempest.
Correct.
The King of Naples.
That is also correct, and you've got a full 11 points. All right, Jim, I'm going to turn your studio off.
Right.
I'll get back to you in just a moment. You're off to a very good start.
Right.
Hank Bloomgarden, at $3,500 a point. The first category, Shakespeare. How many points from 1 to 11?
I'll take 10 points, please.
One of our more difficult questions, 10 points. All of the following Shakespearean characters met untimely, violent deaths. In each case, tell us at whose hands each of these characters met his death. First, Hamlet. Second, Laertes. Third, Tybalt. Fourth, Richard III. And fifth, Othello. Shall we go back over them one at a time?
Please.
First, Hamlet.
Hamlet was killed in a duel with Laertes. He was killed by Laertes.
Correct. Second, Laertes.
Well, Laertes was killed in that same duel. He was killed in turn by Hamlet.
They had a fine time, these fellows. You've got two of them. Third, Tybalt. T-Y-B-A-L-T.
Tybalt killed Mercutio. Romeo killed Tybalt.
Correct. You've got three of them. Fourth, Richard III.
Richard III was killed by the Earl of Richmond, who later became Henry VII.
All I required, actually, is Earl of Richmond. That is right for the fourth part. Finally, for a full 10 points, Othello.
Othello killed... Desdemona's one who killed Othello. Othello killed himself. Othello killed Othello.
You're right for a full 10 points. I'll get back to you in just a moment, Hank. Jim Snodgrass, you have 11 points. The category, American Revolution. How many points do you want from 1 to 11?
I'll try for 21. Means 10.
10 points, which if answered correctly would give you 21. Because you're trying for 21, you're entitled to extra time if you need it. Here is your question. On October 17th, 1777, a British general surrendered his entire army to an American general after the battle which is often referred to as the turning point of the Revolutionary War. Tell us first the name of this famous battle, second, the name of the defeated British general, and third, the name of the victorious American to whom he surrendered. That's the question. Do you understand it all, Jim?
Yes, sir.
Do you need some extra time?
Yes, please.
I'll tell you when your time is up, and good luck. For 10 points, which if answered correctly would give you 21. Please remember, if you answer correctly, you must still wait for Hank, who has one more turn to go. I want you to tell me first the name of the famous battle I have described.
Well, the turning point of the American Revolution was the Battle of Saratoga.
That's correct. Second, the name of the defeated British general.
That is, or was, Lord Burgoyne, or General Burgoyne.
Also correct. One more part answered correctly will give you the required 21. The name of the victorious American to whom he surrendered.
General Gates.
You're right, and that's 21 points. You've done it again, Jim Snodgrass. You have 21 points, but Hank still has a turn to go. I'm going to allow you to listen, but please do not speak. Let's see what happens. Hank Bloomgarden, you have 10 points. The category, American Revolution. How many do you want from 1 to 11?
I'll try the 11. I'll try for 21.
You're going all the way. I can tell you now, the usual that I must tell you, for your own sake, precaution. Jim Snodgrass has already scored 21 points. If you answer correctly, there will be another tie, and we will have to play another game at $4,000 a point. If you miss, I'm not going to bother you with the figures. Here is your question for 11 points. If you need some extra time, you can have it. Give us the full names of the following outstanding figures of the American Revolution. First, this patriot, member of the First Continental Congress and signer of the Declaration of Independence, was a leader of the famous Boston Tea Party. Second, this patriot financier nominated George Washington for president of the Constitutional Convention of 1787. Third, this diplomat and jurist resigned the presidency of the Continental Congress in 1779 to become minister to Spain. And fourth and finally, in June 1776, this man introduced into Congress a resolution which declared that these united colonies are, and of right ought to be, free and independent states. I want the full names of those outstanding figures. Understand the question?
Yes. Could you just repeat the third part, please?
The third part. This diplomat and jurist resigned the presidency of the Continental Congress in 1779 to become minister to Spain. Want some extra time?
Please.
All right, Hank. I'll tell you when your time is up, and good luck. Your time is up for 11 points, which if answered correctly would give you 21 and a tie again for another game which we'd have to play, or if you miss would put you back down to 0 and lose you a great deal here. The question, once again, let's take it one at a time. This patriot, member of the First Continental Congress and signer of the Declaration of Independence, was a leader of the famous Boston Tea Party. I need his full name.
That was Samuel Adams.
Correct. Second, this patriot financier nominated George Washington for president of the Constitutional Convention of 1787.
Was Robert Morris.
I beg your pardon?
Robert Morris.
That is correct. You've got half of them. Third, this diplomat and jurist resigned the presidency of the Continental Congress in 1779 to become minister to Spain.
He was the first Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. John Jay.
Correct. Fourth and finally, if this is answered correctly, we'll have another tie. In June 1776, this man introduced into Congress a resolution which declared that these united colonies are, and of right ought to be, free and independent states.
It was Richard Henry Lee.
That's absolutely right for 21 points. Gentlemen, you two fellows are absolutely phenomenal. We have another tie. I think by now you both know what happens. We go up the ladder again. Instead of playing at $3,500 a point, we must play another game at $4,000 a point, which means that in the next game, over $80,000 will be at stake. I think that calls for these fellows to get a little bit of a break. Gentlemen, relax for a second if you can. And you too, Jim. And we'll get back to you in just a moment. On with the game in just a moment.
When the clock strikes 3 in the morning, are you often still wide awake, your nerves on edge, unable to fall asleep? Well, if you can't sleep at night because of simple nervousness, overwork, or over-fatigue, try Sominex. The new aid to sleep that, taken as directed, brings 100% safe sleep. Remember, and this is important, Sominex contains no barbiturates, no bromides, no narcotics, and it's non-habit forming. What's more, Sominex's combination of special ingredients helps calm down jittery nerves, helps you feel more relaxed. So remember, friends, for a real night's sleep, take Sominex as directed for more natural-like sleep with 100% safety. In the morning, you wake up refreshed without morning after grogginess. Get Sominex at your drugstore. No prescription needed. Money back if you're not satisfied.
That's good advice, Bob. Friends, if you can't sleep, you try Sominex. It really works. Incidentally, all questions used on 21 have been authenticated for accuracy and order of difficulty by the editorial board of the Encyclopedia Britannica. Gentlemen, on we go. I have been informed there is $84,000 at stake in this next game. All ready, Hank?
Yes, I am.
I'm going to turn your studio off, and I'll get back in a moment. Good luck. And good luck to you, Jim Snodgrass. On we go with the game at $4,000 a point. The first category, political leaders. How many points do you want from 1 to 11?
I'll try 11.
Once again, our most difficult question for 11 points. The following men were rallying forces behind various political movements during the last 10 years. First, a Frenchman born in, I'm not sure, this Saint, S-A-I-N-T, Saint-C-E-R-E, the owner of a small stationery and bookstore who wanted to reform the tax system. Second, a pro-Greek archbishop who wants his island home freed from British rule. Third, an Egyptian army officer who first headed his country's government after the exile of King Farouk. And fourth, an African who, while serving a prison sentence, was elected prime minister of what has since become the new nation, Ghana. Shall we go right back to the beginning again for 11 points? A Frenchman born in Saint-Cyr, C-E-R-E, the owner of a small stationery and bookstore who wanted to reform the tax system. Who is he?
That is Pierre Poujade, P-O-U-J-A-D-E.
That's correct. Second, a pro-Greek archbishop who wants his island home freed from British rule.
Archbishop Macarios.
Correct. You've got half of them. Third, an Egyptian army officer who first headed his country's government after the exile of King Farouk.
I don't know his full name. His last name is Naguib, N-A-G-U-I-B, I believe.
That's all right. You've got it fine. Naguib is all right. You've got 3 of them. One more for a full 11 points. An African who, while serving a prison sentence, was elected prime minister of what has since become the new nation, Ghana.
I must confess, I don't know.
Give you a couple extra seconds, Jim. There's a lot at stake here. If you want to guess, by all means, do so.
I've seen it in the newspaper thousands of times. It does no good.
No good.
No good.
Well, like you, I have seen it thousands of times, too. I'm not sure I can pronounce it, but I think it's Nkrumah, N-K-R-U-M-A-H. I'm terribly sorry, Jim. You don't score anything. You don't lose anything either. You stay at 0. Better luck on the next round. Hank Bloomgarten at $4,000 a point. The category is political leaders. How many points do you want from 1 to 11?
I'll take 10 points, please.
10 points. One of our difficult questions. This year, a special Senate committee headed by Senator Kennedy of Massachusetts submitted to the Senate the names of 5 outstanding former senators as candidates to have their portraits hung in the Senate reception room. Name these 5 senators. Understand the question, all right?
Yes.
Well, you just knock them off if you can. You have to give 5 of them for a full 10 points.
Robert Taft, pardon me, was 1.
That is 1.
Henry Clay.
That's 2.
John Calhoun.
You've got 3 of them. 2 to go.
Daniel Webster.
You've got 4. You need 1 more for a full 10 points.
Taft, Calhoun, Clay, Webster. Robert La Follette of Wisconsin.
You're right. You've got 10 points. I'll be back to you in a moment, Hank. Jim, you have no points yet. The category is quotations. How many points do you want from 1 to 11?
I'll try 11 again.
The most difficult question on quotations. We repeat the following quotations so often that it is sometimes difficult to remember who originated them. Tell us who wrote the following lines first. Number 1, 'tis better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. Second, there never was a good war or a bad peace. Third, a woman is only a woman, but a good cigar is a smoke. Fourth, if winter comes, can spring be far behind? Shall we go back to the first one?
Yes.
First, 'tis better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. Who wrote that first?
That's from In Memoriam by Tennyson.
That is correct. Second, there never was a good war or a bad peace.
Benjamin Franklin.
That is correct. You've got 2 of them. 2 to go. A woman is only a woman, but a good cigar is a smoke.
A woman is... Rudyard Kipling.
Correct. Fourth and finally for 11 points. If winter comes, can spring be far behind?
The Ode to the West Wind by Shelley.
That is right, for a full 11 points. We'll back to you in a moment, Jim. Hank Bloomgarten, you have 10 points. The category is quotations. How many points do you want, from 1 to 11?
I'll try for 21 again. I'll take the 11-point question,
We'll
please.
try 11 for 21. If you need some extra time, because you are trying for 21, of course you can have it. Here it is. We repeat the following quotations so often that it is sometimes difficult to remember who originated them. Tell us who wrote the following lines first. Number 1, 'tis better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. Second, there never was a good war or a bad peace. Third, a woman is only a woman, but a good cigar is a smoke. Fourth, if winter comes, can spring be far behind? Got them all okay? Want some extra time to think over your answer?
Please, yes.
I'll tell you when your time is up, and good luck. For 11 points, which would give you 21 and a victory. Tell me first, who first originated this quotation? 'Tis better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all.
That was Alfred Lord Tennyson.
Correct. Second, there never was a good war or a bad peace.
That was written by Benjamin Franklin.
Also correct. You have half of them. Third, a woman is only a woman, but a good cigar is a smoke.
That woman is only a woman, but a good cigar is a smoke. That was Rudyard Kipling.
Also correct. Fourth and finally, if this is answered correctly, you will have scored 21 points and another victory. If winter comes, can spring be far behind?
It's either Shelley or Keats. I always get the two of them confused. If I were to take a guess, I'd probably say Shelley.
I can't accept a guess, though. I'll have to give a definitive answer from you, Hank.
Not sure it could also be Keats. Winter comes, can spring be far behind?
I'm going to have to call in a few moments for your answer, Hank. I don't want to rush you in any way, but...
I'll say Shelley.
Then you're right for 21 points. Congratulations, Hank Bloomgarten. Ladies and gentlemen, you've scored, Hank, 21 points. Your opponent has 11. There's a difference of 10 points in your score. At $4,000 a point, you've just won an additional $40,000. Added to the $52,500, you are still champion and winner of $92,500. Congratulations.
Jim?
Well, boy, it was some battle all the way down the line.
Sure was.
Fellas, stay here with me 1 second, both of you, will you? Because we want to get on with a few remarks to both of you. But right now, I see Bob Shepard over there, and he just seems to have his ups and downs. Bob?
Well, thank you very much, Jack. You know, friends, when the thermometer goes up, your energy often goes down. Now, people with low blood iron often feel the heat more. And now that we're entering the summer season, here's a suggestion. You know, that tired, dragged-out feeling that you may experience at this time of the year could very likely be due to iron deficiency anemia, or as we call it, tired blood. To help keep your strength and energy up this summer, start now to take Geritol, either the liquid or the tablets. And take Geritol every day. Now, this high-potency tonic actually begins to strengthen tired blood in just 24 hours. You'll feel stronger fast, within 7 days, or your money back.
Thank you, Bob, for converting what I've said. Jim, as you know the rules of the game, you get $4,000. We're playing at $4,000 a point. I want to come down to your art exhibit. Exactly where is it?
I'm on the east side of Fifth Avenue between 8th Street and 9th Street.
I want to buy one of your paintings.
Yes,
Indeed, I
please
do.
Please do.
And Hank's going to buy one, too, or I'm going to ring his arm and make him do it.
Jack, if you can afford to buy one, I'm going to buy two, because I think
Jim has exhibited such wonderful knowledge here. I'm sure that it turns up in his creative work as well.
Gentlemen, you're both wonderful
Thank you.
sports. Congratulations. Hank, see you next week. And congratulations. Jim, sorry I couldn't be a lot more money. Good night. I hope you remember what I told you about Geritol, the high-potency tonic that helps you feel stronger fast. Be with us next week to see if Hank Bluegarten takes his 92,500 and quits, or whether he continues to go on. See you next week. Goodbye, everybody.
Transportation is arranged by American Airlines, American choice of experienced travelers everywhere, and famous for the Mercury, luxury leader in the world of flight.
Being fat is no laughing matter, and rigid starvation diets are pure torture, dangerous too. But now with the RDX full stomach reducing plan, you can eat plenty and still lose ugly fat. Clinically tested, safe RDX tablets help reduce your craving for fattening foods. You eat plenty, suffer no hunger tantrums, yet fat just seems to melt away. So if your doctor has told you to lose weight, try pleasant tasting RDX. Contains no dangerous drugs, no hormones. Get RDX today.
Geritol, America's #1 tonic. Geritol, the fast-acting, high-potency tonic that helps you feel stronger.